Hi everyone, welcome back for another tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to talk about displacement maps. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going just to copy this image. So I'm going to image and duplicate it and click OK. So now I have the same image but in the different documents. And what I want to do is I'm going to show you a practical way to see how displacement maps works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my default colors right here, pressing D on my keyboard, and I'm just going into filter, render, and I'm going to render some clouds. So let's say this is our displacement map. Displacement map, it will be applied and it will only see white, different shades of gray and black. So I'm just going to image and I'm going just to bring the levels and to make it more contrasty so you can see the effect, something like so. So I'll click OK. So as you can see, it's very contrasty, and as you can see, it doesn't look very right, but you will get the idea of the displacement map. So what I'm going to do is File, Save As, and I'm going to save it as a PSD, and I'm going to call it Displacement Map, and I'll save. There we go, and I can close it now. So we know that the displacement map I created is the same size of this image, so that's really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this layer and I'm going to convert to a smart object, because I'm going to apply a filter that doesn't give us the best options previewing, so it will allow me to go back and adjust it as I want. So with the smart object selected, I'm going into filter, distort, and I'm going to displace. So now we get this window, and horizontal scale and vertical scale, and this is the numbers by default. Basically it tells you how much you want to distort the image based on that, and stretch to fit or tile or wrap around and repeat edge pixels. I'm going to leave it as it is because I know it's exactly the same size. So I'm just going to click OK, and now it will ask me for displacement map I created. So I'll click OK and open, and as you can see, displaced, and displaced this based on the displacement map, based on the colors right here. As you can see, that's why it looks all wonky, and as you can see in here, there's different shades, and where you see different shades, this is distortion. But because we are working with displacement map, I'm going to double click and I can change the scale. So let's say I'm going now for 50 on the horizontal side. I'll click OK. I'm going to choose a displacement map, open, and as you can see, added a lot more horizontal displacement and distortion. So I'm going just to displace, and I'm going to leave it to 10, and I'm going now to do the vertical in 50 so you can see what it does. So I'll click OK, displacement map, open, and as you can see, now affected a lot more the verticals. So I'm going to get rid of it like this, and we're back to normal. How and when would I use displacement map? Well, there's many options I could do, but let's say in this case I want to create like a reflection. So if I want to create a reflection, I want to create a reflection based on this image. So what I will do is basically go into image and duplicate this image, and I'll click duplicate, merge the layers only, and I'll click OK, and now I've got this image. So I'm going into image, adjustments, desaturate. So now I've got black and white, and I've got different shades of gray, but I don't have many whites. So I'm going to image, adjustments, and levels, and just bring the whites a bit more, something like this, and I'm going to just bring down the blacks a bit more, so something like this, and I'll click OK. So I'm good to go. I'm going to save this as Londonite copy, that's fine. I'll click save, and I'm good to go. So back to my original image, I've got the top layer is already a smart object. So the first thing I want to do is edit, transform and flip vertical. Select my move tool, pressing B on my keyboard, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold shift so it maintains in a straight line. And I can't see much, so I'm going to drop the opacity a bit so I can see what I'm doing. So something like this. So this is not too bad, like so. I'm going to add a layer mask, and I'm going to use a gradient from black to white, so I can blend this a bit better, something like this. And there we go, we have a reflection. It's not brilliant, but obviously doing this you need take a bit more time. But as you can see at the bottom, it looks really bad and fake. So displacement map is a good thing to do now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going into select the smart object and go into filter, distort, displace, and I'm going to, I want probably, let's try 20 and 20. I'll click OK, go to London Eye copy because it was my last displacement map, and as you can see it followed these lines in here and distorted, so it looks like kind of more of a reflection. Probably I went too far with the horizontal, so I'm going to double click this place because it's a smart object, very easy. So I'm just going to do 10 on the horizontal side. I'll click OK, go back, open, and as you can see it looks a bit better and not as fake. Obviously probably this is not the best example, but at least you get the idea how displacement maps work. I use it not very often, but for instance when you're working with clothes and you want to add patterns to clothes, works really well. Reflections works really well as well, and many other ways, including graphics. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.